Albert Einstein was born in Ulm, Germany, on March 14, 1879. His family was Jewish. His father, Hermann Einstein, was a salesman and electrical equipment worker. His mother, Pauline Koch, took care of the home. Albert had a younger sister, Marja, born 2 years after him. They were close friends throughout their lives. As a child, Albert was quiet and didn't speak much until relatively late. Some thought he had a learning disability, but he was simply thoughtful and curious. He was fascinated by a compass his father showed him, sparking a lifelong interest in invisible forces. In school, Albert excelled in math and science but disliked the rigid teaching methods. He preferred understanding over memorization, often questioning the teachers and not always following rules. This sometimes got him into trouble, though he easily got good grades. He preferred self-directed learning. The Einstein family moved to Munich, where his father and uncle ran an electrical business. Later, they moved to Italy, but Albert stayed in Munich to finish school. He was lonely and disliked the strict rules, eventually leaving without graduating. He applied to the Swiss Federal Polytechnic in Zurich, a science and mathematics school. Albert initially failed part of the entrance exam, excelling in math and science but struggling in other subjects. He attended a school in Aarau, Switzerland, for a year, where he thrived under the more flexible teaching style. He then retook the Zurich Polytechnic entrance exam and passed. He began university in 1896 at age 17. At the Polytechnic, he met Milva Marek, the only woman in his physics class. They became friends, studied together, and later fell in love. Albert often skipped classes, preferring independent study. This displeased some professors, and after graduating, he struggled to find a university position. After 2 years of searching and temporary teaching jobs, a friend helped him secure a job at the patent office in Bern, Switzerland, in 1902. The job, while not exciting, gave him time to think about physics. 1905 was Einstein's miracle year. He published 4 groundbreaking papers while working at the patent office. One paper explained the photoelectric effect, proposing that light consists of energy packets called quanta, laying the groundwork for quantum mechanics. Another paper explained Brownian motion, proving the existence of atoms and molecules. His most famous paper introduced the theory of special relativity, revolutionizing our understanding of space and time. It stated that the speed of light is constant, and time and space are relative. He also introduced the famous equation E equals mc2, demonstrating the equivalence of energy and mass. The 4th paper further elaborated on aspects of special relativity. After 1905, Einstein gained recognition and eventually secured professorships in Zurich, Prague, and Berlin. He then developed the general theory of relativity, explaining gravity as a curve in space-time. This theory was initially met with skepticism, but was confirmed during a solar eclipse in 1919, making Einstein world famous. He received the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921 for his work on the photoelectric effect. During World War I, Einstein, a pacifist, spoke out against the war. He continued advocating for peace after the war. Einstein married Milva Marek in 1903 and they had two sons, Hans Albert and Eduard. The marriage was troubled and they divorced in 1919. He then married his cousin, Elsa Lerwenthal. As Einstein's fame grew, he used it to address important social issues, believing scientists had a responsibility to improve the world. He championed equality and social causes. After achieving significant fame, Einstein traveled extensively, delivering lectures worldwide. He was recognized globally and enjoyed interacting with people and discussing science. Despite his fame, Einstein continued his physics work, aiming to develop a unified field theory to explain all forces in the universe. He worked on this for years without completing it, a challenge that continues to engage scientists. In the 1930s, with the rise of the Nazi Party in Germany, Einstein, being Jewish, faced danger. He left Germany in 1933 and moved to the United States, accepting a position at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, New Jersey, where he remained for the rest of his life. Concerned about the Nazis developing powerful weapons, Einstein wrote to President Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1939, warning about the potential for an atomic bomb and urging U.S. research. This letter contributed to the initiation of the Manhattan Project, though Einstein did not directly participate. After World War II, following the use of atomic bombs on Japan, Einstein, a lifelong pacifist, expressed deep sorrow and advocated against nuclear weapons, promoting peace among nations. Einstein also championed civil rights, opposing racism and advocating for the equal treatment of all people. He was friends with several African American leaders. In his later years, Einstein lived quietly in Princeton, continuing his scientific work, enjoying music, violin, and sailing, and engaging in discussions with friends on science and politics. Einstein's second wife, Elsa, died in 1936. He continued to live in Princeton with his stepdaughter, Margaret, and his secretary, Helen Dukas. Albert Einstein died on April 18, 1955, at the age of 76, in Princeton. He remains globally renowned as one of history's greatest scientists, his ideas profoundly shaping our understanding of the universe. His legacy extends beyond science, encompassing his humanitarian efforts and advocacy for peace. He exemplifies the impact one individual can have on the world. Albert Einstein's life was a journey from a quiet, curious boy to one of the most famous scientists in the world. He was born in Germany and showed a love for math and science early on. He did not always like the rules of school, but he loved to learn in his own way. He was very interested in how things worked. He had big ideas that changed how we understand the world. He showed us that light can be both a wave and a particle. He explained how tiny particles move in liquids. His most famous idea, relativity, changed our ideas about space and time. He showed that energy and mass are connected. He became one of the most important persons in the world. He became really well known. Einstein was not just a scientist. He cared about people. He spoke out against war. He believed that everyone should be treated fairly. He used his fame to talk about important things. He wanted the world to be a better place. His pacifism was a very important aspect of his life. He moved to the United States because of problems in Germany. He was worried about the atomic bomb and he warned the president. After the war, he worked for peace. Even in his later years, he kept thinking and working. He played music and enjoyed simple things. Albert Einstein died in 1955, but his ideas and his example are still important today. He showed us that one person with big ideas and a good heart can change the world. He was a scientist, a thinker, and a caring person. He will be remembered for a long, long time for the amazing contribution to science. Einstein's story is not just about science. It is also about being curious, thinking differently, and caring about the world. He showed us that it is okay to ask questions, even if they are difficult. He showed us that it is important to stand up for what you believe in, even if it is not popular. His life is a reminder that learning is a lifelong journey and that we can all make a difference, each and every single one of us.